Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Christina McNeil, and this is NB12 for Tuesday, September 18th, 2012, broadcasting from the Cable 12 studios on Robinson Road. In news tonight, the North Abaco by-election date is set. What the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition have to say about the upcoming poll. More homeowners than previously expected set to benefit from the mortgage relief plan. Immigration officials taking a closer look at an alleged human smuggling ring in the Bahamas. The latest child abuse statistics revealed, and hundreds of workers evacuated from businesses on New Providence today. We'll tell you why. We have those stories and much more coming up tonight. Your NB12 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. A date has been set for the much-anticipated North Abaco by-election. Thousands of North Abaco constituents will head to the polls to vote for a new Member of Parliament on October 15th. The Cabinet Office made the announcement this afternoon. As the by-election campaign heats up, Prime Minister Perry Christie says he plans to visit that constituency this week. Vonique Toot reports.
Leaders of the Progressive Liberal Party, Free National Movement, and Bahamas Constitution Party have less than a month to convince North Abaco constituents to support their respective candidates in the upcoming by-election. Cabinet Office announced this afternoon that the North Abaco by-election will be held on October 15th. Prime Minister Perry Christie told NB12 today that National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage, who is also the minister responsible for elections, spent the day fulfilling certain requirements that would enable the government to announce a date.
Well, firstly, the Speaker of the House of Assembly has to notify the Governor General that there is a vacancy. The Governor General then has to advise the Minister responsible for elections. The Minister responsible for elections, being Dr. Nottage, will then have to get back in the process and indicate that this is the time, this is the date, and we are then going to the people.
A by-election must be held to fill the seat left vacant by retired Member of Parliament Hubert Ingram. The former Prime Minister's resignation from the House of Assembly took effect on August 31st. An election must be called within 60 days of that date. F&M candidate Greg Gomez will go up against Ali McIntosh from the BCP and the PLP's Renardo Curry, who lost by nearly 400 votes in the May 7th general election. The PLP leader says members of his party have been on the ground campaigning in an effort to increase the number of seats held by the PLP to 30. He says they're hoping to convince constituents that they will be better served by a member of the governing party.
We have 29 seats, and we're going to do our very best to ensure that the people of the constituency know that they have an opportunity to enable their man, right, Renardo Curry, the PLP's candidate, to be elected and be in a position to cause things to happen for them during the next 5 years in a more meaningful way than if they were to elect the opposition. The fact of the matter is that we are the government of the Bahamas. We will continue to be the government of the Bahamas. And let me say again, we will continue, notwithstanding any decision of the people of Abaco, to ensure that Abaco, which is a very dynamically developing island, is taken care of properly.
As Prime Minister, Christie says he is focused on governance. However, he does plan to visit North Abaco soon.
Just to see the lay of the land, and so it'll be going in for me to make an assessment as to where we are. But this is now the time, and Abaco will be the place.
Prime Minister Christie says he hasn't visited North Abaco since the May 7th election. However, as the by-election campaign heats up, he may make a trip as early as tomorrow. Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonique Toot.
Nomination day is set for next Wednesday. Meantime, Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis says the opposition is more than ready for the upcoming North Abaco by-election. He has visited that constituency on several occasions in recent months to campaign and plans to return tomorrow morning. He says it's about time Prime Minister Christie made his way back to North Abaco since the general election.
But I'm happy that the Prime Minister is finally going to see what Abaco looks like. I mean, I would like him to go and drive through Abaco and drive, before he leaves for Abaco tomorrow, he should go and visit his own constituency so he can see what a constituency should look like and what representation should be. He can move some of those outdoor toilets that he have in his constituency that don't exist in Abaco. So it's good that he's traveling. I hope he travels not only to North Abaco, but he travels throughout the entire Abaco so that he can take back to his constituency what he should have done some time ago.
Former Prime Minister and North Abaco MP Hubert Ingram was elected by the people of that constituency 8 times, twice as a PLP, once as an independent, and 5 times as an F&M. Following the May 7th election, the F&M was $1 million in debt. More than 4 months later, Dr. Minnis says the party is in a better financial position and will ensure the North Abaco seat remains red.
We know their needs, we know where they want to go, we know the future. They were a part of the future, and they will be a part of the future. They were very instrumental in loaning us one of their sons, Hubert Ingram, who in 1992 changed the government. That government under Hubert Ingram brought true democracy. Perry Christie was in the government that suppressed individuals. Victimization was the order of the day in the 70s and the 80s. Hubert Ingram freed up the airwaves. So Abaco has changed the whole mantra of the political scene of the Bahamas, and Abaco has an opportunity to do it again.
It's been 8 days since clearing banks began accepting applications for the mortgage relief plan. Prime Minister Christie told NB12 today that the number of homeowners expected to benefit from the plan is now higher than initially anticipated. Chairman of the Clearing Banks Association, Chairman of the Clearing Banks, Nathaniel Benaby Jr., recently said that based on a rough estimate by the clearing banks, 800 to 1,000 people could benefit under the plan. However, Christie now estimates that as many as 1,500 will benefit.
I indicated before about 1,100. The opposition were giving a much higher number, but I think it's going to be at this stage around 1,500 people who at this stage, and I've indicated, a lot of it is driven by the status or the state of the economy, and that I am so gratified that we have been able to work with the clearing banks to be able to bring that kind of result about. We have a program that is accepted, and we have a program that is being implemented. The applications are now coming in and being processed.
Christie was unable to say just how many applications had been filed with the clearing banks over the past week. Neither could Benaby, who told NB12 today that he is still compiling information from the various clearing banks. Asked why the number is now 1,500 instead of 1,100, the Prime Minister said the media estimated badly. However, F&M leader Dr. Hubert Minnis isn't buying it. He said if a requalification process and a policy change was implemented, then the Prime Minister's estimate might be possible.
No, y'all just estimated badly. That's what accounts for it.
So it was always around 1,500?
Listen to the opposition and not listen to the government.
Going on facts, the facts from the bank states that 1,114 individuals would qualify. The facts from the bank also state that about 560 odd of them, under ordinary circumstances, could not receive any loan or whatever because their debt ratio is too high. So when you subtract that, the facts from the bank would say that only 500 odd would truly qualify.
However, Minnis went on to say that he would be happy if even one Bahamian could be positively impacted by this plan. Banks began taking applications for the plan as of September 10th and will do so until March 10th, 2013. In order to be eligible for assistance, applicants must occupy a primary residence. The mortgage must have originated prior to January 2009. The outstanding mortgage amount cannot exceed $500,000, and the applicant must show an acceptable credit history prior to June 30th, 2008. Well, immigration officials have in the past several days thwarted what are believed to be at least 2 human smuggling attempts and are now reviewing whether charges will be brought against the immigrants involved. Paige McCartney has the details.
18 illegal immigrants were expected to be charged before the courts today with illegal landing and also attempting to travel to a third country, the United States. But now immigration officials are reviewing how they are going to move forward with this suspected human smuggling case. According to immigration officials, a group of 8 Dominicans, 8 Indians, and 2 Cubans were apprehended by U.S. Coast Guard officials in waters near the Quezal Bank late last week. According to officials, the immigrants left the Dominican Republic on board a sailboat on September 5th. They reportedly paid a man in the Dominican Republic by the name of Ali more than $5,000 to be taken to South Florida. However, halfway through the trip, they ran out of fuel, food, and water. A passing boat was able to give them water before they were picked up by law enforcement officials. The immigrants were taken to Grand Bahama to be processed before they were transported to the Carmichael Road Detention Center. According to Director of Immigration Jack Thompson, the immigrants were going to be charged, but officers decided to review their cases for the possibility of human smuggling. He would not give further details. The latest apprehension also comes as officials determine whether they will bring charges against a group of Brazilian nationals who entered the Bahamas several days ago on board a flight from Panama as visitors. They were arrested after attempting to travel to South Florida by way of Grand Bahama, according to Thompson. Immigration officials said the immigrants will now be deported to their respective countries. They say the migrants have the option to either pay for a ticket themselves to travel back to their homes, or they can have a sponsor pay for them. That money would be sent to the Department of Immigration, which would then make travel arrangements for them. According to officials, investigations are being conducted with authorities in the Dominican Republic to see if the charges can be brought against the captain of the sailboat or the man who organized the smuggling attempt. Reporting for MB12, I'm Paige McCartney.